Pokemon Sword and Shield. Jesus! As I was saying, Pokemon Sword and Shield, a very relevant and topical subject, has been one of the most controversial titles in gaming history, even topping the controversy of Luigi's hat being backwards in Mario Kart Double Dash. This game single-handedly started a civil war of sorts on the internet between the people who were arguing Game Freak doesn't care and people complaining about the people complaining. And the other 95% of people who are arguing calmly, but who cares about them? I still remember the battle like it was yesterday. Misery in the air. Countless loss. And worst of all, Twitter. In case you're busy living a life and doing something, you know, actually important. Ooh, look at me in my 9-to-5 job, ooh. I'll tell you the story of Pokemon Sword and Shield's build up to release. After the 3DS did the equivalent of dying and died, people are wondering what the next Pokemon game will look like on a home console. We all liked Ultra Sun and Moon, right? But now we get a full-on HD Pokemon game, and nothing can possibly change that. After everyone was finished loving Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Pokemon Sword and Shield was revealed in a Pokemon Direct on February 27th, 2019, showing the titles, starters, and that's it. Honestly, way more than I expected. Oh, come on! I was pretty excited. I've been a Pokemon fan since I was young, and this was the first Pokemon game I could follow up to release, so oh yeah, no more discovering the game on Cartoon Network ad space. I should have known better. Then we got another Direct on June 5th, cause who needs Nintendo anyways? This Direct showed off so many things. The Wild Area raids, Dynamaxing, 4 new Pokemon, 1 new God, and even the box legendaries. This Direct blew me away. The new Pokemon design seemed like they were going simpler like Gen 1, which really worked for them. Again. Wooloo. Giant Pokemon, an open world area, get out, I have Pokemon now. I mean, come on, what more could we ask for? Some people were upset this was shown here, not at E3, in a couple days, but don't worry, we got our Pokemon fix at E3 when they announced the National Dex. So they announced the National Dex, basically Pokemon from past games being able to come to this one, would be cut to make room for other stuff. I remember being upset about it, but knew they weren't going to cut much, so not that big of a deal. But what was a big deal is what they were supposedly making room for. Better animations, and model remaking. This is basically the Pearl Harbor of this war. The backlash was instant and huge. People were not happy and they wouldn't let you forget it. You're killing Sir Viper to make Double Kick look like this? Especially since this game was $60 instead of the usual $40 on the 3DS. Look, I'm not a game designer, but yeesh. People are still willing to side with Game Freak here, which is fair. People argued the game is still in development and it could change on release. As well as Double Kick being a bad move, so you'll get rid of it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Which is stupid. Even if it's a bad move or will be replaced, doesn't mean it should look like this. I wish I could say it ends here, but oh no. It gets worse. People are wondering why the models needed to get remade in the first place. Game Freak even said that models were high quality in the 3DS to future-proof them, but they were remaking them anyways, which made it awkward when the proof came out later about them reusing them. This went on for months, with people harassing Game Freak employees, which is not cool, arguments on if the visuals in a Pokemon game matter, and even hashtag boycott Pokemon. You couldn't escape. I could go on about this war, but there's so many side stories and events, and you get the gist. People are upset over the National Dex being cut to make the game look better, but evidence and eyesight said otherwise. Keep in mind, we still don't know how bad the Dex cut was. But how bad was this cut? 5%? 10%? God forbid anything above 25%. 60%. That's over 400 Pokemon excluded from the game to improve something that seems unchanged. The game was getting closer to release, and with every day seemed to bring some new thing to get pissed at a billion-dollar company for. Finally, the game was released on November 15th, 2019. But everything we've talked about doesn't even include the game itself, just what's not in it. Looking back, this controversy was pretty justified. It slowly moved away from the National Dex and how Game Freak seemed to not care, even after the game came out. $16 a year. God. But saying Game Freak didn't care about Pokemon or us, is that true? Well, I guess I will have to see as I treat myself with Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. You know it's official if I say Pokemon before both Sword and Shield. When talking about the gameplay of Pokemon, it's like explaining the rules of Duck Duck Goose. Like, do I really need to say it? You're in a battle, you can fight back, run a Pokemon, you have 6 in a party, each Pokemon form moves the types, abilities, berry status, EVs and IVs, and whatever hell those are. And it feels great in this game. Like it did 20 times already. What I like to see in the sequel, if these even are sequels of one another, is what it changes about a battle system. How does it evolve to add new experiences and strategies? The There's no bottom screen. Yes, I know this is a problem in all Pokemon, not just this one, but God, would it kill them for some changes? Yeah, Dynamax, cool. I like Gigantism as much as the next guy, but please. Speaking of Dynamax, it's okay. It's just basically a combo of Megas and Z moves with big boys mixed in somewhere. It's pretty visually entertaining, though.
Hey, Mr. Game Freak, I love Megas, Z moves, and Dynamax, but it's kind of hard to tell the difference of them. Can you do something to help Dynamaxing stand out?
Why, of course I can.
What?
60%, ladies and gentlemen. But wait, what? There's Gigantamax Pokemon as well. Now it's even more like Megas. Some Pokemon get a special form when they Dynamax, and they get a different effect on their moves. And don't worry, Charizard and Pikachu have one as well.
Yeah!
Okay, we did the evil and complained about a battle system in a Pokemon game. Check that one off the list. Now we can move on to the rest of the game and what it has to offer. First of all, the wild area. The biggest selling point of this game, and oh boy, it sure is wild. A huge open world section filled with tons of Pokemon and collectibles, as well as a controllable camera. It shows how slow Pokemon as the series evolves to see people freaking out about a slightly controllable camera in one section of the game. I have a few problems with the wild area, but I'll refrain for now and talk about what it does well. Being open. I was surprised to see how early we were able to access it and how far we can go into it. Apart from a few islands, we could look around the whole thing, and while it's not that big as say Breath of the Wild shit, it's pretty sizable, especially for Pokemon. Now let's talk about one of the features of the wild area. How often I feel like I will die in here. You can run into Pokemon way above your level before even the first badge. This is a really cool idea because you can try and catch— oh, come on. For some reason, instead of having an over-leveled Pokemon ignore you like in the past games, the game just denies you the right to throw a ball. Come on, it would be such a good challenge. Risk and reward, wasted potential as it is. Now the biggest selling point of the place is the raid dens with all giant Pokemon, and I have some problems still in the positive section. Fine. This is a really cool idea, executed fairly well. You and 3 other trainers send out one Pokemon to fight Giant Caterpie. You have either 10 turns until 4 Pokemon die to beat it. For me, I never exhausted the 10-turn counter, so it really relies on your teammates to not suck. Which is hard because occasionally the Pokemon will set up a shield. Oh, I get it. Okay, where's the giant sword? Which takes a certain number of hits to take out before you can deal damage again. Unfortunately, the way they show up is stupid. They have a certain amount of shields per battle at certain points in the health, so when you wanted to do a super powerful attack on it, only do a little bit because you hit the checkpoint. Ooh, gotta put up those shields. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be positive. I don't know, they're fun, I guess. Can I be negative now? You can either play these raids online or with the computer, so basically you can play raids online. These trainers have abysmal Pokemon. One of them even has a Magikarp. Why? They're just useless, and if you happen to find a good raid Pokemon, like Caterpie, then have fun beating with your Talonflame and their Solrock, Clefairy, and Magikarp. Even online, these battles kinda drag on. Not much happening, and if the boss uses his status move, guess who gets to watch the animation happen to every individual Pokemon? Or you can play the game online, you know? Brains. And let's say you get 3 other people with type advantage Pokemon with perfect stats and the likes. Now it's too easy. They die before you can even say goodbye. There's no winning here. Either it takes way too long or it's done in a minute, and both ways are completely brain dead. Me use fire on grass. Ooh, As for the wild area in itself for the fun negative section, it's just pretty bland overall. Not much variety in location besides a desert coming out of nowhere. There's even this cool ruin area that's just there to look cool. There's a weird bike beating game, and I bet 50% of the people who played this game didn't even know about it. Don't worry, I got you covered. Ever play Wii Fit? I wish there was more to talk about, but after you get bored of raids, there pretty much is nothing to do. Like I said, you can explore the whole thing from the very start, leaving very little to open up, leading to it feeling small after a couple hours. So yeah, the wild area was a cool idea with tons of room to expand, but here's just alright. Then there's Pokemon Camp, this game's version of a Me and Refresh. It's pretty cute, but I kinda prefer Refresh, but that's just me. Like, I know it's funny, but watching Snom slowly get the ball gets old. Just fight a couple people, you win. They kinda brought back the World Tournament. Both out 5 letters. In Black and White 2, the World Tournament was a side mode that let you compete in a tournament against tons of characters from past games, along with remasters of their theme songs. Here you can just fight trainers from the game, which is pretty lame. What else? Didn't mention battling. Yeah, this game is kinda weak on side stuff. Just the battle tower, raids, and that's it really. And for a $60 game in a 20-year-long series with less content in it, it's not ideal. However, a lot of this game's offerings come in the form of quality of life changes, and my god, did they change the life quality of mine. From bringing back Let's Go's encounter system and PC system, movie learners, move forgetters, and nickname murders being free and in every Pokemon Center, to being able to evolve level 100s with rare candies, they really thought of everything to make things as convenient as possible. Although I don't care that much, I have to appreciate that work that went into making competitive as accessible as possible. I cared a lot more about my team's items and moves because the game made it easy to. but I have a Mewtwo on my team, so my point is invalid. Being able to change abilities and even natures on top of having the movie learner deleter free and everywhere, XP candies demolishing the grinding process, and even being able to get any Pokemon have perfect stats. Yeah, it's not easy, but compared to what hell you have to do in the past games, I can't imagine the relief for competitive players. Not me, I don't care, but you know. If only they could use all the Pokemon for the past games. Ooh. And while I don't care about competitive, it goes a long way to keeping the game relevant. But maybe we're focusing too much on the post-game. Post-game. What features have been added or improved to the main game, and oh my god, the overhaul the gyms got. First, the fights themselves feel amazing. You're in this huge stadium and you're like, ooh, I made it. The gym leaders are full of life and personality. I do wish you met them more outside the gym. Like you meet them once and the game's like, yeah, that's what Gen 5 did, that's good. But going back to the quality of life stuff, the Dynamax tutorial, gone. Just like that. Years of Pokemon games dragging on tutorials. Z-Moves tutorial required like a minute. Here it just pops up and gone. This and the catching tutorial just shows that maybe one of the devs actually played a Pokemon game twice before. Now I want to bring up the puzzles themselves. Gym puzzles of the olden days range from okay to I'm done. Now they are really imaginative. Herding sheep, whatever the hell this is, and even battles where you fight an ally to see who can catch a Pokemon first. I love fire types. Unfortunately, you can see the drop in quality a mile away. They go from herding sheep to a quiz with a battle in between to walking in a straight line to literally the last one just being 3 double battles in a room you've already had to go into. What happened here? Almost seems like they were being held for time or something. Now we get to the fun part. Graphics. How does the game look? And there's one certain part I know you all want me to talk about, but I won't. Look, just because it's a Pokemon game doesn't mean it gets a free pass. I mean, Luigi's Mansion 3 came out before, there's no excuse. Yeah, the game looks bad, no sure shit luck. But maybe we can focus on the good parts, and despite what some tar, that's water, might make you think, this game is beautiful, in some places. The first area that comes to mind is Balloon Leah. Ballon Leah? Baboon? Ballon Leah. The glow of the mushrooms, the detail of the trees, and the houses make this one of the best looking locations visually in Pokemon. Please note I said one of. In fact, most of the towns of this game look great and are pretty visually distinct from each other. The gyms look great, except for that green water. What, is there a leak or something? No, not you. The neon lights and spike moves, some battle animations, and oh god, I said the forbidden word. Yeah, if you remember our talk on the Civil War, seems like so long ago. You remember good animation being a reason that Dex was cut. Honestly, it's great. Yeah, the Pokemon could use therapy, but they did not have to go so hard on the gym leaders. From throwing Pokemons to Dynamaxing, these guys are full of life. I mean, one of them does a backflip, what more do you want? If this is what they meant by improving animations, this would definitely explain it. And as I said, some move animations look great. Yes, Powerball, but there are others like, the legendary moves. Yeah, okay, most are pretty bad, but let's not worry about that and go back to the visual and oh god, what did they do? Yeah, some areas look great, but the water area looks like a PS2 game. Everything looks so ugly. It took me a while to figure out what was wrong with the water, but I think it comes down to not being able to see the bottom. Come on, even black and white's water look better, and no, I'm still not gonna say it. Boo. Although I would like to say this next part is wild area exclusive, but nope. The pop-in is so bad, oh my god, why? You could be 2 feet away from someone and then boom, Snorlax. It's come to the point where I avoid the areas they spawn in and around, as if there are danger spots. This makes that previous bike minigame a ton of fun. I mean, I get it in the wild area, tons of models in an open area, fine. But what I don't get is why it's so bad in the towns! I didn't know COVID was in Pokemon 2, where is everybody? There's even one spot in a cave where Beat is supposed to show up, like he's destined to stand here, dramatically like. But they couldn't even bother to make his pop in slightly further back so I couldn't see it! Oh, and you thought I was done with the wild area? No. I know Pokemon are using Rain Dance, Hail, Sandstorm, and Sunny Day in battles, but I didn't know it affected the overworld. Now that I've lost more respect than someone using Corsola and online, I will find you. I think I should stop complaining about graphics in a Pokemon game before I reveal another hot take like Diamond and Pearl suck. Okay, fine, the trees look really bad. No way. I refuse to believe it. A purely positive section? No. Can someone remind me what this game is called? The Pokemon of Sword and Shield are baller. I can't even say there are any stinkers, hey Ice Cube. Every Pokemon has been given amazing designs and turned cool concepts into cooler Pokemon. Take notes, Aromatisse. I mean, come on. Toxtricity, Orbeetle, Wooloo, Dreadnought, Applins, Evolution, Snomp, Anaconda, Phalanx, the Fossils, Dragapult, Yamper, Hatterene. I could go on. I wish I could say the starters are great, but really none of them did it for me. Especially since every middle evo is just some form of edgy teen. I think it's kind of funny, but geez, Saba, what did it do to you? Hashtag score bunny. But these Pokemon ain't just for looking. Put Mawile in a gladiator match and see what happens. Almost every Pokemon has something to help in battles. so many creative abilities and moves. I mean, God, even the Rattata clone has a place in battles. Even though the regional dex is having less and less with every entry, it seems they are finally learning quality over quantity. Gen 6 can master both. I'm totally fine with having a smaller regional dex if it means the quality of Pokemon raised. But guess what, gamers? The regional forms are back from Sun and Moon, and Gen 1's Onix isn't sucked by Game Freak this time. I love every regional form in this game, and they even made Stunfisk almost cool. Better luck next time, Stunfisk. So it turns out they actually took two things from Sinnoh: slow battling and evolutions. It's pretty lame, only Galarian forms got Evos, but who cares? Obstagoon, Cursula, Berserker, Surfetch, Mr. Rhyme, and Runerigus. That's Evos to Farfetch, Lanoon, and Corsola. Monsu needed it desperately. Not Dunsparce though. Better luck next time, Dunsparce. So yeah, I guess this game is great. I mean, 2/3 of the title is great, what could go wrong? No way. I refuse to believe it. A purely negative section? No. While the Pokemon characters are great, unfortunately Arceus cursed with human characters. And this is an opinion, but I hate all of them. Except the Gym Leader. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch. I like some, but I think it's just one character bringing down the whole thing whose name rhymes with Hop. Every other character is just kind of there for me. Marnie, Bede, Leon, like they're okay, but my thumb always hurt when I talk to them. Team Yell was just worse Team Skull. Pierce is okay though. Now can I please talk about how— Get ready, Reddit, because I'm about to complain about how to. I hate you. I can't escape you. Stop. Everything. Every time I think I'm free, this barnacle head shows up and stops everything just to tell me how cool he is and I'll be the best. How often he stops you to tell you nothing of importance gets so old. God, I bought the DLC just to get away from you and you still showed up! He's not likable just because he gets depressed halfway through the game. Yes, this makes it better than most rivals by default, but at least the rivals in Gen 6 left you alone. I like the dynamic of Hop feeling like he needs to overcome his brother to make a name for himself, but I just didn't care. Moving on from Hop, but also not moving on from Hop, this game sure likes doing fighting combos with characters in your face. Hit him with the quarter circle Marnie, then there's Sonya and some easy hops in there. Yes! I win! Get— I remember one point in the game, walking to the 6th gym, Bede stops to talk to you about what he will do now to basically getting harassed by an old woman, which is pretty entertaining. Then Sonya wants to talk about nothing, then you walk 5 steps, then Hop stops you again, just says nothing, and then you get to the end of a bridge and Hop stops you again to battle you. Stop! Even someone telling you to go to a building across the street, someone stops you to point to where it is, you walk 5 steps, then he stops you again to say you made it. Yes, this is the problem in all Pokemon games, but never close to this level. Just tone down the Hop encounters, give Marty something to do with Team Yell, get beat back in half the game, and shut up. Okay, hear me out on this one. Look at the map of this region. Look at it closer. Why isn't it open world? Hear me out. I mean, seriously, look. You got an isolated area at the beginning to get you started, then a big open area that leads to 2 separate cities. Then those cities split in directions with equal gyms on both sides. Then an isolated ending area only opening up after all 8 badges. Why isn't this open world? And by open world, I mean able to fight the gyms in any order you want. It would be so easy. It's not like any story beats happened in between them anyway. Here's an example. Bede. If you go to this area first, there are 2 caves where you meet him at the end and at the beginning of both. You can just switch those around, even if you win here first. This monument destroying after the 4th town could be anywhere. There are monuments in nearly every town. Yes, it would take work, but not that much. The reason I bring this up is because it's right there. It would even explain a weak story, which we will get to. And maybe they should just be begging because of how linear this game is. And trust me, I've played every Pokemon game. I know linear, but this game takes it too far. There's not a single extra route, cave, forest, or even town after the game ends. Everything in the game that you can walk on, you have to visit in the game. Even Gen 1 had Cerulean Cave. On top of that, pretty much every route is a straight line. Route 8 is pretty cool, but that's it. Very small diverging paths and secrets just to get from one town to the next. Go, go, go. I'm more upset about it here than any other game because of what they did to the encounter system. Back in my day, caves are these dark bat holes that were no fun to get through at all unless you had repels. But now you can walk around and never hit any Pokemon unless you want to. Exploration is so much fun in these 2 caves. And Galar Mine 1 and 2, great work guys, really stretch yourself on that one. But it doesn't matter, because there's nothing to explore. Forests get hit bad too. There are 2 in the game, and they act identically to each other. Small changing paths with items at the end. If you draw the layout of these maps, you could sell in a modern art contest. No secret rooms to discover, no legendaries to fight, nothing. And it's a shame because it would be excusable if you could fight gyms in any order you want. It's not like it would be a first. Earlier games did this, and maybe it was a glitch because Command is red and blue, but it's still there. Even if this game bogs down nearly every element of a Pokemon game, there's at least one aspect I can rely on. That the beats will slap! Wow, this song is pretty good. Who's it? Ah! Look, say what you want about this game, but all the battle music is amazing. Almost every rival song is a bop, but there are a couple songs that don't really fit their location. I don't know if it's just me, but I'll get to it when I talk about them. So the songs in this game either great, don't fit, or... Oh, you thought I would talk about the battle music without bringing up the gym theme? What are you, some kind of idiot? This song is amazing. The song changes based on you beating their Pokemon. Your Pokemon dying. Dynamax and their final Pokemon. Like we haven't seen stuff like this since Gen 5. Not to mention the song itself is really experimental for Pokemon. I think it fits perfectly. We can't talk about battles all day, however, and thankfully the rest of the soundtrack doesn't disappoint. One song I'd like to mention is the Slumbering Wheel theme. It plays early on, and it fits the area perfectly. A mysterious tune with dogs. Some people don't like the dogs' inclusion in the songs, but I thought it was pretty neat. Especially the song being reused for their battle theme. This game also has a leitmotif in its soundtrack, which is basically a melody playing every once in a while in the soundtrack. I can always relate to games and music more if it has this, and it does. Although not music, I feel like I have to bring this up. The voice acting, or lack of it. I don't think Pokemon needs voice acting because you can't dub Zelda doing voice acting, so why even try?
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
But you know why I'm bringing this up, and yeah, it's the scene. I mean, come on, why'd you animate it like that just to have nothing come out? Oh boy, I've been waiting a long time for this section. So I'm not going to waste it by saying every Pokemon game is like this, or it doesn't matter in a Pokemon game, because I finally get to complain about this story. Honestly, this game opens up in a great way. It begins in a stadium, setting the precedence that this will take old concepts and big them. And we are introduced to Chairman Rose, who is basically in charge of the gym challenge. This scene is basically the new professor sexually harassing you in every game. Then showing off Leon, who will be a big focus of this game, and the undefeatable champion, and the best the world has ever seen. This is a great opening scene for this character, showing he's loved by everyone in the stands, getting an opening, and even having a rivalry with another character. It sets up something great with this character that totally pays off. Then showing off Dynamax, it's not even Dynamax, it's Gigantamax, for the first time, and boom, logo. This opening is great. How could it get any better? Here's my money. This next part is really unique. It takes a series in a new direction, having your character be a 10-year-old kid living alone with their mom, hoping to start a journey with their oh god damn it. Yeah, this game opens like every other, but at least no one was expecting it not to, so it's okay, I guess? Then you keep going. Okay, I'm just gonna fast forward. You meet Leon, he runs away because you probably named your character Egg, and Hop forced him to bring you small animals. I guess now it's a good time to talk about cutscenes, and if you haven't seen already, they're amazing. Besides the water, but hey, 9 out of 10 I bet. They're full of life, and this one is probably the best introduction to starters we've seen yet. Then you fight your rival. No way. Now I want to point out this grade A game design right here. Don't worry. It's the last time. Hop is 2 Pokemon, so you cream 1 and level up, showing the babies playing the game that leveling up equals good. From leveling up, you learn a new move based on what type your Pokemon is, which is perfect, seeing as Hop is brain dead and shows the one weak to you. So you're like, goo 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 gaga, new move I use, gaga. And it's super effective, showing some moves work on specific Pokemon. It's pretty good game design. I want to bring it up because I won't get as much joy in my heart before the drop. Then a Wooloo from earlier breaks through a gate into a dangerous forest, and this part I really like. The game gives you the option between saving the Wooloo and being a hero, or leaving it to die, but your character will be haunted by this decision, which changes the game in many play. Okay, fine, you're forced to get it. So you go in and meet the Plastic Man. It's mysterious and epic. Moving on. You find the Wooloo and take pride in the fact that fighting Leon's Charizard will be easier than you thought. Another example of this game's epic pop-in. Next you go visit the professor's assistant, who transformed herself into a dog. So this is Sonia, the only character with an arc in this game. No, you don't count. She sees professing is kind of boring and goes on a journey with you to find more info on the legend of the 2 kings or whatever. Then you encounter... No way. An optional catching tutorial? Okay, I take it back. This game epic. Then you go visit the actual professor, and don't worry, she is in the game a lot and is an important character. Then you gotta fight Hop again. This seems familiar. After you win, Leon decides to endorse both of you. Seems like nepotism. I will be the greatest trainer ever. I will be the greatest trainer ever. I will be the... Okay, we get it! Time for my favorite part of a Pokemon game. Leaving your mom alone to die. Oh yeah, wild area time. Refer to paragraph 4. Once you make it to the Motostoke Stadium, they are introduced to the second best line of gym leaders in the series with the best introduction scene in the series. You start to get a better idea of what the gym system this time is around. After a hard day of walking, you get to stop at a hotel and run into the evil Team Yell this time around, and they kinda suck. They're not funny like Team Skull or menacing like, just kind of there to be a roadblock. Anytime you aren't allowed to go somewhere, it's because they're blocking it. I remember when they were revealed, and I was pretty excited. Having a bunch of grown men and women forming a team to simp over an emo... Yikes. But the concept is really cool. But it goes nowhere! They just didn't do anything with this dynamic, so Team Yell just felt like an obstacle. But yeah, Team Skull for life. Huh. So I have some negative things to say, but we're only like an hour in and I've been praising the story so far. Maybe I was complaining about nothing after all. Complaining about nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. I bet some of you are worried I'm going to talk about this game's story beat by beat, and the video will be 10 hours long, but don't worry. It stops here. After this point, just nothing happens. Oh, it's just a little slow. I'm sure interesting stuff happens along the way. Yes! Interesting stuff does happen! But the game goes out of its way to make sure you don't see any of it. Throughout the game, there are explosions just happening randomly and rumors of Pokemon going big sicko mode randomly. And instead of going to investigate it yourself and maybe fighting a rampaging giant Pokemon, Leon will be like, oh, don't worry, I got this. You go get those badges because this is your game and you need them. I want to do that! In a game where you are the hero, I shouldn't feel like I would rather play as a different character because it looks like they're having more fun than me. After the 7th gym, there's a gigantic explosion and the usual happens. Leon comes up and talks to you about... What? Wait, the game wants me to go towards it? No way. Oh my god, what is that?
What do we do? It's destroying everything.
I'm here. Don't worry about it. Leon came in and saved the day. But don't worry, the gym is down the road. Let's go get it. It happens so often it becomes a running gag, but it's trying to build suspense. And it could have! Look at this. Leon is a person who has a position of power and respect from everyone. And whenever something goes wrong or is suspicious, he's always there and like, hey, don't look at this, just keep doing your gym challenge, don't worry about it, I got it. He could have been doing something with or without Rose to keep his position at the top, like using a legendary. He keeps you away from it because he knows you're strong and will do something. Like, it's right there! But no, Leon is a perfect guy with a bit of an ego, and that's it. Other than those brief moments of excitement, nothing. Team Yell, Hot Battles, Gym, B trying to be important, Rose being like, I swear I'm not the villain, guys. Oleana waiting for her to have story relevance. Nothing. The only time this story does pick up is with Sonia. See, 3,000 years ago, there was something called the Darkest Day. A legendary Pokemon attempted to stay alive by taking Galar's energy, which caused a giant storm to gather around the region. It's then rumored that 2 kings fought the legendary and saved the region. This is also the explanation for Dynamax and Gigantamax. As you go through the game and see the towns and many artifacts, you slowly learn more and more about the story, which inadvertently gets Sonia to be more interested in being a professor and studying this. You eventually learn that it wasn't people who stopped the legendary, but it was the 2 doggos from earlier, and the kings took credit and buried the dogs having anything to do with it for power. This is a really cool backstory that's revealed in an interesting way, and honestly was the best part of the game. Although the story itself isn't that unique, it kept me away from Hop, so it's good in my book. But seriously, it's an interesting way to reveal lore and have Sonia be an important character. Oh hey, I'm just preparing for the clusterfuck this next part is. I suggest you do the same. After going through the worst victory road ever, you arrive in Winden, the location of the tournament that will decide who will be the champion. Everything seems pretty cool when you get there. Instead of an Elite Four, the game goes full anime and you take part in a tournament. Unfortunately, it's just against gym leaders and they're in a set order instead of being random. Feeling kinda underwhelming. After you finally crush Hop's dreams into the ground once more, and with some admittedly cool music, strap in, Leon offers to take both of you to dinner before your final battle with him the next day. So while you're waiting at the hotel, instead of just waiting for Leon, Hop decides to be Hop and is like, what? Leon isn't here yet, he might be in trouble. I just saw this as Hop being Hop and didn't see it as a warning sign of things to come. Then you go outside and look for him like idiots and see Oleana trying to be important. Hop asks where Leon is, and instead of saying, oh, he's in a meeting, he'll be back soon, she says, oh, he's at a meeting, but I'm gonna hide the key to the tower he's in with a random guard, so you'll never get in. Ha ha ha. What? Then you play hide and seek with the guard 3 times. Why didn't she just keep the key? After that, you gotta go to the train station to get to the tower, and guards block the way. Also, Pierce is here. He's Marnie's brother and gym leader and team yell leader. Who cares? And this part, I don't get it. Pierce plays a song to get people to run down the stairs to get the guards out of the way. Then Marnie says she got the key, even though she was just standing there, and all the guards did was move out of the way. They never explained that. You have to see this scene for yourself. It's hard to describe something like that. Once you get to the tower, you gotta go up the elevator, and this part kinda annoys me. You know in RPGs when you're getting close to the end and they play a song over the usual battle theme to show it's almost over? Paper Mario Origami King and Undertale did this, and that works, because in the context of the story, you're almost at the end and the battle theme would sound weird here. In the context of this game, yeah, your friend didn't come back to buy you dinner, and when someone says he's in a meeting, you decide to break and enter to find him. Why is this music playing? Speaking of unfitting music, you fight Oleon at the top at the tower, and the song is good, but does not fit at all. I do like how she has all these feminine Pokemon other than Garborda though. Hey! Remember those really cool cutscenes with the starters we had earlier? And how full of life it was and, you know, movement? Well, there you go. 3 images. No music. Dialogue. Neat. This is the only time this happens in the game. Why didn't they just have a normal conversation instead of this weird slideshow? As for the conversation itself... Chairman Rose, the guy who wants to get money from all these events, wants to cancel it one day from it happening so Leon can help him save the world. Basically, the power given to them from the Darkest Day will eventually run out, so he wants to talk to Leon on what to do. Oh wow, this is bad. How much time do we have? Weeks? Days? 1,000 years. Alright, let me set my watch. First of all, shocking that Rose is the villain. If you think he's not, you're dumb as he is. Second of all, this ruins his entire motivation. Like, even if it was a year, it'd still be kind of dumb, but 1,000? Why does he need this brainlet? Aren't they like scientists or something? And why one day from the big event if you have that long? It sounds not that bad here, but seeing what he does later really makes it stupid. I'll admit that the setup to the final battle is pretty great. Leon is mentioned throughout the game as the unbeatable champion, and although I wish they showed it more instead of telling it, I was pretty intimidated by him. His outfit helped though. So as you step into the stadium, stare him in the eye, and get ready to... Oh, god damn it. Yeah, Rose interrupts what would have been like a 5-minute battle to save the world from something 1,000 years from now. What was the solution? Restarting the Darkest Day, of course, like, duh. So now you gotta ask the doggos for help because, yeah. So to make sure they trust you and want to help you out, you steal their belongings. Then you go to Hammerlock Stadium to... Oh, hey! Oh, you want us to help? Oh, yeah, oh, cancer! Yeah, sorry, I gave the cure to cancer to one of my bodyguards. You gotta go find him. Okay, bye. Turns out there's a secret lab under the stadium, and this is what was causing the explosions earlier. And this is it. Finally, a true dungeon. I will fight his lackeys and solve puzzles to make my way to the center of— Oh, come on! Another example of unfitting music. Jesus Christ, it feels like I'm fighting Satan himself. I mean, the song that plays when you fight Satan sounds less intense. Also, if you spend enough hours on Reddit, you can hear "Go Rose, save everyone" here. Yeah, okay. I'm with the Go Post Say Soccer Ball group. Sure. If I can have a quick tangent here. Pokemon bosses that have one singular type are dumb. I know Gym Leader's got a Gym Leader, but Rose only has Steel types. Bring a level 2 Magikarp that someone knows Ember, and you will one-shot everyone on his team. The thing that bothers me most about this is how many questions there are. How did you get that? Who told you about it? How long have you had it? How did you know that wishing stars would awaken it? Why is it an egg? Why didn't you just wait 2 days? It felt like Game Freak said, okay, we need a villain, Rose will do. And Rose could have worked as a villain, but they made him go too far for it to make any sense. I'm sorry, but Rose is not intimidating in the slightest. He's just a businessman, doing business stuff. And the best part is, he turns himself in! Like immediately! Look, I'm all for redeeming villains. When it's done immediately with no build-up, why even bother? Then he just lets you go to the roof where it is and doesn't come help or even see. What do you want to do? You get to the top of the tower and see Leon and the reason I'm siding with Rose, trying to catch the legendary Pokemon Eternatus. Oh, by the way, this is Eternatus, the main antagonist of the game. Because it's certainly not Rose. Literally the first time you hear this thing is 2 seconds ago when you were talking with Rose. And then you just walk up the tower and like, oh, there it is, no big deal. Like, there's no build up to anything. It's just there. Leon then proceeds to use a Pokeball to catch it and then fucking die. And now it's up to 2 children to fight God. The first phase, because Pokemon bosses have phases now, is easy. It's just a regular battle, but then he gets big. So what? I've seen a big Caterpie in my day. So obviously he's beating up, but your Pokemon can't even attack it. So Eternatus absorbs both of your souls, and then the darkest day plays out with no conflict and everyone dies. I wish. The doggos come save the day and get their armor. Oh, now they're the plastic guys. Now it's just press the A button to win, as the legendaries use both their moves, which already are 100 base power, but do double on Dynamax Pokemon, so yeah. Also, I know I mentioned this already, but the moves look sick. Who wants to hear me complain about the music again? This song is so good. It's amazing. It feels great. It perfectly encapsulates the feeling of we're gonna kick the villain's ass now. But it's so wasted on Eternatus. Like, this is the only song in a video game where I can listen to the song on YouTube and feel more motivated than I do in the actual game. There's no build up to it, it doesn't earn this song, and it just upsets me. And the day is saved by you, and the 2 legendary dogs, and no one else, as they jump into the sunset literally, thus ending Pokemon Sword and Shield. Oh wait, you still gotta fight Leon. I haven't mentioned this yet because even I can admit through complaining about the story and battle system that this is the one thing I'll accept about this series. But this game is piss easy. And yeah, I lost to Leon like 3 times. I wasn't limiting myself for changing teams or whatever either, it's just a hard fight. And a fine, good champion battle. Not better than Diantha though. And thus ends Pokemon Sword and Shield. What the fuck? I don't know what Game Freak HQ looked like after the 8th patch, but it had to have been a lot of rare candies. It's a complete train wreck of an ending. They throw every plot point right at the end and nothing fits. And even if it kinda does fit, it's just bad. Say what you want about Pokemon stories, but when this company wants to make a good one, they make a good one. Pokemon Black and White and Sun and Moon are games I will always point to as the best Pokemon game story-wise, while this game tried and completely failed. And yes, there is a post-game, but the game didn't bother to do anything with it, so neither will I. Penis hair. Okay, almost done. Now we get to move on to the Wi-Fi and why the PSS is better. As I mentioned earlier, you can do raids online with others, along with battling, trading, and that's it. This is done using the Wi-Com, which filters through what the game calls stamps, which will have a raid or other option come up, and if you click on it, then you will join them. You can also set up your own by pressing one of the handy dandy buttons on the side, which you can put a code on so only your friends can get in, which people will always use on Gigantamax Pokemon from Shield, so I can never get them. Yeah, I prefer PSS as much as the next guy, but at least it's better than the Festival Plaza. And if you're wondering what the Festival Plaza is, you don't have to know. I will go ahead and say that I have pretty good connection in my house. But who cares? I can spend minutes straight clicking on raid options and either the raid is started or I've disconnected. Well, if the raid is started, then get it off the screen! If you played the game, you know the symbol stopping here is a sign of death. It's not terrible. I spent hours doing online battles because the actual versus ranked matches don't accept my Mewtwo and Namazenta on them. They deserve love too. And I've had tons of fun, with little connection issue. But one thing, my Switch usually lags and turns off randomly if someone brought a Strength Sap Corsola. I don't know why. If anyone can explain this, please. Well, that was a journey. If you don't know, this is the first video I'm uploading to this channel, and writing the script has been a great but weird experience. I always think to myself when I'm trying to sleep about stuff, and I can remember vividly about me just complaining about games like this because I find it fun, but it's weird putting it down on paper. I know you don't care, but shut up. But one thing I didn't expect to happen when writing this was for my opinion to change on the game. I realized that I don't actually hate this game, I'm just disappointed in it. The ultimate I'm not mad, just disappointed right there. I mean, think of how many times I said I wish they did more of this, or explored that, or kicking Hop out of the region. This game has great ideas, and it's not that I hated them, I just wanted more from them. I think it's pretty obvious looking at this game that you can tell it was rushed. The gym challenge falling off halfway through, characters like Bee not appearing halfway through the game, and the subpar graphics. But you cannot look at everything in this game, all the additions and steps forward to tell me that the development team did not care, or lied to its fanbase, or wanted to make the games bad for money. I can tell they wanted to do more, but the higher ups at the Pokemon company either wanted to keep up with the 3-year gap, or, you know, money. The money meter is running low. Release that game now to keep it up. But sir, it's not even close to done yet. We still have more to add and the wild area is still in beta 0.001. Why don't we just release another shit mobile game? That should bring in the cash. I want money! Also, yes, there is DLC, but the second one hasn't come out yet, and the first one's just a better wild area. I know this definitely isn't like a review for people who are wondering to get the game, but for people who have the game and have like 40 minutes to spare on this shit. But if you don't have the game yet because you're mad at Game Freak or whatever, you should give it a shot. Just don't get Pokemon Home, it's not worth it. But the question is, my final verdict, Is this a bad game? Yes. And you could say you enjoyed it, and I did too. I'm playing the game a lot, but I feel like I'm enjoying the game not because it's Pokemon Sword and Shield, but because it's Pokemon Sword and Shield. Woo! That was a topic. In fact, I'm so tired, I'm going to pick the next game I talk about out of this hat. And this game had a lot of relevance because of the Civil War on the internet, so I'm hoping to get a calmer, regular game to talk about. Son of a bitch.